Hello students, today also we will be rocking, studying about rocks, and today's topic is Igneous Rocks and Metamorphic Rocks. Remember in the previous class we have discussed about the sedimentary rocks. In general, what are rocks, their formation, and in detail we discussed about the sedimentary rocks, and today we'll be in detail discussing about the igneous as well as the metamorphic rocks. So you can see on the board, on the screen, igneous rocks. There's a different type of igneous rocks. They've got their names, and we also would like to know what are igneous rocks. Rather, how are igneous rocks formed? So igneous rocks are defined as that type of rocks that are formed when molten rock cools to a solid state. You know, the interior of the earth is very hot, and sometimes it oozes out in the form of lava and magma. So in other words, igneous rocks are formed from the solidification of magma or lava, both. The word igneous has derived from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. In India, it also has some synonymous terms called agni, agni. Okay, so ignis means fire, agni also means fire. So ultimately what we can conclude that igneous rock or rocks have been formed due to the activity of fire or volcanoes. Igneous rocks are of two types. One is called the intrusive igneous rocks. The other one is extrusive igneous rocks. Now, intrusive igneous rock, what does it mean? I said the igneous rocks are formed due to the solidification of lava or magma. That means the lava and magma is coming out from the core of the earth towards the surface. Now sometime this magma cannot get the vent, means outlet, to come out from the surface. So what happens? As a result, they get within the surface and gets cooled in long time and get solidified. In this process, whatever igneous rocks are formed inside the earth's surface is known as the intrusive igneous rock. So let us read in detail. These rocks are crystalline or crystallize, means becomes crystal form of rock below the earth's surface, resulting in large crystals as the cooling takes place slowly. That means rock formation takes place under the surface of the earth. Some of the famous examples are called diorite, granite. Granite is very example. In the kitchen, that slab is made of granite. Then pegmatite, some of the examples of the intrusive igneous rocks. Vice versa, what are the extrusive igneous rocks? Extrusive igneous rocks means when the magma comes out on the surface in the form of lava, it spreads and it cools, and then which that rock forms, that form of rock is known as extrusive igneous rock. So these rocks erupt onto the surface, resulting in small crystals as the cooling takes place quickly. That means the rock formation takes place on the surface of the earth because the lava spreads out on the surface rapidly. Some of the famous examples of extrusive igneous rocks are basalt, tuff, pumice, and do not get confused. Both this side, intrusive as well as extrusive, both are igneous rocks. One type of igneous rocks that gets solidified or get formed inside the surface of the earth, that's why it is known as intrusive igneous rocks. The other one is when it comes out of the surface of the earth, rather on the surface it spreads and then it solidifies, then that rocks is known as extrusive rocks. And here you have got some of the examples, the pick of some famous quite common igneous rocks. Basalt, it is extrusive igneous rock. Granite, it is intrusive igneous rock. Pumice, it is extrusive igneous rock. Diorite, it is intrusive igneous rock. Now we have to discuss about the characteristics of igneous rocks, because you should know very clearly that igneous rocks are different from sedimentary rocks that we have discussed in the previous lessons. Now, once again, do not confuse the word igneous with igneous. It is igneous, Latin word ignis. From Latin word ignis, it has come igneous, not igneous. Igneous rocks are ancestors of all rocks. That means Adimetha. That means in the beginning there was a rock that was igneous rock, and thus they are called the parent rocks. They can be either glassy or coarse in appearance, in look. The size of rock depends on the rate of cooling of magma or lava. Magma and lava is the same. When it is inside the surface of the earth, then it is called magma, and when it comes out on the surface, spreads out, that's called lava. If the cooling is faster, the crystals become smaller in size, and if the cooling is slower, the crystals becomes larger in size. That's what we say, the size of the rock depends on the rate of cooling. Faster cooling, smaller size. Then slower cooling, larger size. Extrusive igneous rocks have small crystals because they get cooled faster outside the surface, on the surface. And intrusive, they get cooled inside, they cool slow. That's why they have got bigger type of crystals. These rocks do not have layers. You must remember the sedimentary rocks formed in layers. These rocks are hard and compact in soft compared to sedimentary rocks. Since they consist of crystals, these rocks are also called crystalline rocks. I mean, igneous rocks are also called crystalline rocks. In the igneous rock, fossils are not found. Very simple, because fossils means all the remains of the plants and animals will get burnt, because lava is always hot. So that's why fossils are not found in the igneous, I'm making the mistake. So igneous rocks. And they are non-porous rocks. That means water doesn't sink or pass or percolate through these rocks. Now we shall talk about the metamorphic rocks. So we said about the sedimentary rocks, we said about the igneous rocks. Now we talk about the metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks are formed due to the transformation of pre-existing rocks in the process called metamorphism. Pre-existing rocks. That means metamorphic rocks is not a new rock. It means there was some rock and that same rock got changed, transformed in the process called metamorphism. So the word metamorphism is taken from the Greek word for change of form. So metamorphic rocks is a changed rock. Earlier it may have been some kind of rock, and later when it is changed it has become some other rock. So these rocks derive from either igneous or sedimentary rocks, that's called pre-existing rocks, that have altered, changed their form as a result of changes in their physical environment due to extreme heat and pressure. These are the two major causes of the formation of metamorphic rocks. And that's why we should know what are the causes of the metamorphic rocks. First of all, metamorphic rocks may be formed as a result of volcanic activity. Just now we have said in the formation of igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks also can take place, can be formed in the volcanic activity. Due to volcanic activity, extreme amount of heat and pressure is created. Another reason is a mountain building process. So volcanic activity and mountain building process. So metamorphic rocks can be formed during the mountain building process when intense pressure over millions of years alter the texture and the origin of the pre-existing rocks. So metamorphic rocks is a new form of rock of the old one which was already existing. And if you take some examples here, then we can find how there some metamorphic rocks, you can very clearly understand what we are talking about, what is pre-existing rock and what is getting changed and altered. So take the example of some very common metamorphic rock. One of them, second one I start with, called marble. All of us, you know marble. Our floors are marble floor, etc. Okay. Now what is marble? It is the altered form of limestone. That means limestone, sedimentary rock. In the beginning, there was sedimentary called limestone. In the process of going through millions of years under the pressure and heat, that limestone has changed to metamorphic rock called marble. Similarly, all these examples, these are only 6 of them, there are hundreds of them are there, but these are very common examples like quartzites. Now quartzites has been altered from the sandstone. Again, it is sedimentary rock. So from sedimentary to metamorphic. Number 3, slate. Slate has been also transformed from clay and shale. Okay, they were all sedimentary rock in the beginning. Graphite, a very common example, graphite. Graphite has been once upon a time coal, sedimentary rock. That means it is the altered form of coal, that is graphite. Schist. Schist is the altered form of basalt, which is igneous rock. And gneiss, G-N-E-I-S-S, not gneiss or gneiss, all it is pronounced as gneiss. Gneiss is the altered form of granite. It was also igneous rocks. Now here you have got some of the peaks of the igneous rocks. You can see the slate. Of course, by seeing this you will not understand anything, but these are some examples of slate, schist, marble. You say, Emma, marble looks like this, but our marble is not like that. Yes, of course, these marbles, this rock is like this. Then after that, it has been by machine cut into simple and then make it a timber like look and etc etc. This is also called gneiss. Now we shall proceed with the characteristics of the metamorphic rocks. Remember, characteristics of metamorphic rocks will be entirely different from the characteristics of sedimentary and igneous rocks. To certain extent, in one or two areas, the metamorphic rocks will have same feature like the igneous rocks. Now let's see what are the basic characteristics of the metamorphic rocks. Well, these rocks are not the original rocks that we have said earlier. These are not the original rocks. They are the changed forms of some pre-existing rocks. Earlier there were igneous or sedimentary rocks. That same igneous or sedimentary rocks under the pressure and heat got altered, and these altered rocks are known as metamorphic rocks. So they are not the original rocks, they are the changed form of the rocks. These rocks are more compact and harder than the original rocks, that means sedimentary or igneous. They have well arranged minerals in series of bands known as foliation. Now, like igneous rocks, as I said, to some extent, igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks will be alike. So it is in this category, like igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks are also, both are crystalline. Most of these rocks are non-porous. Metamorphic rocks are also non-porous like igneous rocks. Fossils are also not found in these rocks because extreme heat will burn the fossils. Now, in general, we shall be talking about some economic importance of rocks. In general, not just sedimentary or igneous or metamorphic, but in general, what are the importance, benefit, profit? Okay, this thing we are discussing. Soil is made from rocks, after the withering of rocks the soil is made, and all agricultural activities depend on the quality of soil. They are the storehouse of minerals. Rocks, all minerals are found in the rocks. The mineral based industries get their raw materials from the rocks. All precious minerals like gold, silver, rubies, diamond, emeralds, etc., they are found in the rocks. Fossils are also found in the rocks. We get coal, we get petroleum, we get natural gas from the rock. Rocks provide us with building materials. Big constructions are taking place, whether a building, where is a big mall, or called sports villa, or even called big buildings, bridges, you can say. All the building materials we are getting from the rocks. And the historical periods are also named after rocks, like Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, etc. Now, some of you will be very critical, sir, but you said economic importance of rocks, and why this, the last point is an economical. It is a general, it is called feature that we should know, that rocks are very important to us because the different type of periods, historical periods, are named after the rock. Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, etc. So this was the last discussion about this chapter. This was the 5th chapter of your book, and the name of the chapter was, rather is still continuing, is the material of the earth's crust. We have discussed in general about the rock and all 3 kinds of rocks: sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. And hope this has helped you to grasp the chapter. Dear children, keep in touch with your studies.